we are gradually becoming religious. We don't know. And a religious man is a man who is consumed with spiritual activities, but he doesn't understand the essence of that activity. So, when you are speaking to a religious man, he will tell you that he goes to church, he pays his tithe, he prays, he's a prayer warrior. That's a religious man talking. He's consumed with the activities, but if you ask him what is the essence of prayer, he doesn't know. And the second attribute of a religious man is that his pride and relevance is drawn from the fact that he indulges in spiritual activity. So, if you read Luke, I think chapter 10, when you read 11 and 12, the Pharisee stood and said, he was comparing himself with the tax collector. And he said, I pray, I pay my tithes. I'm better than that tax collector. Now, the reason why he was paying tithes was not because of the essence of tithes. The reason why he was praying was not because of the essence of prayer. It was because his value and relevance is tied to that activity. So you hear people say, do you know that I just prayed for 7 hours? There are people here, the reason why they wake up every midnight to pray, there is a sense of value they draw when they pray in the night. So they are not necessarily praying because of the essence of prayer. They are praying because that is where their pride and their sense of value comes from. My brother and my sister, as good as praying for long is, you are actually becoming a religious man not knowing. Because the essence of prayer is not that we should pray for long. It's only a byproduct of the essence of prayer. But if your goal is to draw value, if your goal is to draw relevance, so the reason why you feel that you are better than Mrs. Blessing is that this night or yesterday night you prayed for 3 hours. So when you come, you look at everybody and you feel that they are not too spiritual. There are many people, as I speak to them now, if they don't pray, they don't have a sense of satisfaction. Their being is satisfied when they fulfill that religious activity. And what they don't understand is they are actually becoming religious not knowing. Because the only reason why you will not become religious is that you will be able to define the essence of the activities you are indulging in. So when we ask, what is the essence of prayer? Let me begin from this note. Now, the essence of prayer is just one. The reason why we pray is to communicate to God. Prayer has no other essence apart from talking to God. I am trying to reach out to a spirit that is not in time. I am trying to travel out of time. So when I separate myself to pray, I am trying to talk to God. It means that prayer is not monologue. Prayer is dialogue. So you have not prayed if you have not gotten feedback from the other end. A lot of times somebody will pray for 1 hour, but the idea of his prayer is just to satisfy a religious activity, not knowing that the essence, the whole idea behind prayer is that we want to commune with the spirit. It means that prayer becomes the language of God. The only way you can talk and God will hear you is by prayer. So when you are asked, why do we pray? We pray because we want to talk to God. It therefore means that there are days you will talk to God from your heart. And that's why when Anna was praying in 1 Samuel chapter 1, she didn't make words, she didn't say anything, and yet God counted it as prayer. You know, in this day and in this time of fire, it's good. I know how to pray loud. And there is the aspect of prayer that if you begin to prosecute, you must pray loud. But I'm trying to tell you that the core essence behind prayer is not necessarily to pray long. The core essence is to talk to God. So if you are praying and you are not talking to God, you are not actually praying. You are actually talking to yourself. Because prayer is not monologue. Prayer is dialogue. The idea is he wants you to stay in constant fellowship. with him. If you understand that prayer is communicating to God, you will pray for 24 hours not knowing. Because when you go to the hospital and you are waiting for somebody, you know it is talking to God. You can literally be talking to God about the illness of your father. You can be talking to God about the business that is now nosediving. You can just learn to express fellowship with God, because you now understand that the why of prayer is to talk to a spirit that is outside of time. That is the only legal way by which we can travel out of time and speak to him that was before time began.